you know my name. And ooh la la la.
A relatively unknown musician gets his songs played on local and national radio and television. How does he do it? Why does he do it? He did it by running for president. Why are you doing this?
I think that's the first time anyone's ever asked me that, but I think now that I have time to think of an answer, when I first started, I did it just for fun. I just thought it'd be a good way to...
Is it fun now?
Oh, it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's definitely still fun.
That's good.
But now, as I'm getting on more and more national TV, it's a way of making an important point, I think, in politics, which is that one person actually can make a difference.
So you feel that you are starting to make a difference?
Well, just in terms of the impact in the media, with, can I mention national media appearances on the show?
I'm really not sure about the legalities. Okay. It doesn't bother me.
Okay, so I'm going to be on, by the time this is on, I may have already appeared on Real People, and I'm working on a couple of other national. I've been on The Tomorrow Show, and hopefully by the winter or spring '84, I should be on a lot of national television.
That's exciting. What's your political background? What
I have none.
You have none. You're just a regular person.
I think that makes me a fresh face in politics. I think people are tired of typical politicians, people who are desperate to win, people who will do and say anything to get elected.
Right.
The only thing I could say is from being in the music business and dealing with club owners, you get to be very political after a while. You know how to say the right things.
I read your book, and I think it's great. We have a copy of John's book right here, The Running Game. If you all want to go out and buy it, I'm sure John wouldn't mind.
All the local bookstores, it's selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, great. Well, would you like to talk about some of your stands on the issues? I really like some of your political opinions. For example, your feelings on the nuclear arms race. What do you think?
Well, it's not so surprising. I'm not in favor of the continual arms race. But I think that the problem is an underlying philosophy behind the arms race that the nuclear buildup is kind of a logical consequence to us versus them kind of mentality.
Right.
You know, good guys and bad guys, and we're right and you're wrong. And I think it's just like Hatfields and McCoys. You know, the Russians and the USA, eventually if the McCoys and Hatfields are feuding long enough, the McCoys will have Pershing missiles and the Hatfields will have SS-20s. It's just inevitable.
And everybody will suffer.
Yeah, so the point is to get underneath our assumptions about that we think people out there are different than we are. That's the thing we have to get to, rather than that we're right and they're wrong.
Yeah, I really like that. You brought that in as far as the situation in Latin America, too. You think it's a similar thing. We've made them worse by escalating our side of it.
Yeah, and it's just a thing of opposites. You just, the more that you resist that, the more you make that other side more powerful. I think that we're shooting ourselves in the foot in Latin America. I have a saying that I use that's from Pogo, because I was a big Pogo fan when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
My favorite phrase that I think Albert of Pogo, one of the characters, said is, "We've met the enemy and they is us." The enemy is not over there. It's, you know, holographically. Yeah. So that we have to come to terms with the enemy within before we can deal with the enemy outside, assuming that the enemy exists outside.
Well, I think you've got my vote.
Well, thanks. That's one. I'm on my way.
How's it going? How do you think your chances are? Your chances
Well, interesting. And in terms of a national poll, there's less negative comments on me than any other national candidate. So that, in fact, there wasn't one negative comment on a national poll recently, which, as far as I'm concerned, that makes me number one.
Right. Great. Great. That's exciting. What about your economic theories? What is the solution to the economic problems? I don't think anybody knows personally.
No, nobody knows, but I'm the only one that admits it. You see, I have no idea what to do. But I do have a couple of really catchy phrases, like the check is not in the mail, which is, because everybody says the check is in the mail.
Yes, by the way, for being on the show, your check will be in the mail.
Oh, great, thanks, thanks. And so will yours, I appreciate it.
Yeah, mine will be too.
Here. So, no, I don't have any fast solutions, but we are going to have to balance the budget sooner or later and erase the budget deficits, but it's going to take years and years. Anybody that says we're going to do it in the next couple of years needs a pocket calculator.
Right, and you don't think any one person is to blame for all the problems? It's not Reagan's fault.
It's real easy. It's the easy road to point to one person and blame them. It's the scapegoat theory. In Red China, they talk about the Gang of Four. They blame everything on these four revolutionaries. And I hang out in Boston a lot, and they blame everything on Proposition 2.5. And in Connecticut, they blame everything on the tolls. You know, no matter
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happens, it's the toll's
I hate
fault.
the tolls, too.
Yeah, right. So blame them if it rains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a way of not being responsible, not taking any personal responsibility for what's going on.
Right.
And the extreme form of that is that people don't even bother to vote because they think that it's
There's
hopeless.
no use, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do complain a lot. I noticed in one part of your book you brought out some of the positive things that are going on as far as technology. I mean, no one ever talks about that.
That's right.
The world consciousness, global
Oh, sure.
consciousness.
Oh, there's a lot of really good things happening. There's the
Talk
good
about
news.
some of the good stuff for a
Yeah, well, it
change.
doesn't, you know, it's not, you don't see it on the headlines, you know, but I
Right.
mean, but there is a lot in the area of world hunger, for instance. There's dramatic breakthroughs in India, probably in the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
India will have effectively turned around the hunger problem. There's a lot of really good news, but it's not nearly as interesting as
Right.
the, you know, airplane crashes and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
It doesn't get a lot of people to read the paper.
That's right. So we'll blame the papers. That's our new.
Okay,
that's our new
let's
statement.
blame the
Blame the
newspapers.
media.
The
Oh no, wait a minute,
media,
you're the
no.
media. I'm sorry.
Be careful. How's the search for a first lady going?
Well, you know.
I in particular was wondering,
Oh well.
from my point of view.
I think I've located a really good candidate.
Oh, I'm heartbroken.
I'm sorry. But for a while, I was going around to all the local bars, and I was walking
Where
in,
was I?
and I kept going up. You know, I just say, you know, how do you feel about entertaining foreign dignitaries? I'd say to that women sitting around the
love it,
bars,
I love it.
and I would get different responses.
Yeah.
You know, somebody would throw beer in my face or things like that. But you have to be prepared for that when you undertake a search.
Well, if it doesn't work out, let me know. I like being on camera. I'm a musician. I'm looking for more publicity.
Great.
You know, so I'd like to apply if there is an opening.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks. So how's your song doing? You had some airplay on PLR for a while.
Oh, the running game. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually getting airplay around the country. People are using it as a theme for local elections around the country. The running game,
great.
which is also in my book, by the way.
Right,
Matter of fact,
I listened to it.
if
yeah.
you, this record has already gone. See, some records go gold. This has gone plastic. You see already.
Yeah.
And it's flexible vinyl. Actually plays. It actually sounds. You know, human voices on this record. It's amazing. It's called the running game.
So what else do you do? Are you playing much with the band these days?
I do
or-
play with the John O'Leary Band. We play the Lone Star Cafe in New York City.
Right.
We're not really country rock, though. I call us suburban rock or condominium
Interesting,
rock.
That's different.
Well, you know, I want to get middle America, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that if I could help you with your campaign, maybe I'd go New Wave and we could get the New Wave audience.
Well, I am kind of the new wave. I'm a cross between New Age and New Wave candidate, so I call myself the New Wage. The New Wage. It's kind
Let's
of
hear it
crossing
for the New Age.
The New Wage, right? Because everybody wants a new wage.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't mind that. Well, should we get back to some of the other issues?
I'm ready.
Okay, what about, well, you have some general feelings about war. I read about
Yeah, I'm against war. I know.
I'd go along with that.
I know I always get pinned in the spot in this stuff, but I'm against unemployment,
Uh-huh.
and I'm against inflation. Now, I know no one's ever probably come on a show like this and said that, but I have to tell it like I
You should
feel
get
it.
all the votes. I think everybody's against all those things.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a shoo-in then.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? What else should we talk about
Maybe I should
here?
interview you.
Sure. What do you want to know about
So
me?
how long have you been doing this show?
Well, this is my sixth show.
Oh, yeah? Now,
Yeah.
this is probably just a tool for you to run for public office. I'm sure that
I'm
this is just
thinking about it. I know it worked for you.
Yeah, it's working wonderfully
I'm a
for me.
musician, a struggling musician like all the rest.
I started as a talk show host in Seymour, Connecticut.
See what happens?
Musically speaking, and here I've made it not only to real people, but to this show.
That's great. Do you plan to get more? Let's see. More gigs with the band, or?
Well, we're working a lot. Well, as often as I want to right now. I'm
Yeah, you said you spend 6 hours a day on the phone. Is that
I'm
what do you
constantly on
do
the
for
phone.
6 hours? I mean,
well. I call a lot of radio stations and TV stations around the country lobbying to have me on the air. And I recently went to Dallas for a American Booksellers Conference, so I was promoting my book, and I did a lot of TV and radio in Dallas. Sometimes they just call me up, so I'm just, I'm lying in bed, the phone rings, and it's a station
they want to interview
in
you.
Omaha, and they interview me, and people even call in, and all this is happening in Omaha, and I'm just, lying in my bed taking
right.
questions.
Trying to wake up and answer some questions.
Really,
That
it's
must
really,
be-
they're so rude, they'll just call any time of day,
Yeah, especially for a musician who usually stays up till 3 or 4 anyhow.
Yes, that's true. It's tough. It's tough getting up. My contacts are driving me crazy here. I got up early for this one.
Yeah. Well, I hope you get a hit record with your song.
I think it's in the bag.
Great, great.
It's already being played in different markets around the country in connection with the campaign.
Now, I noticed that you had to borrow some equipment to be on the show. Don't you own any equipment?
That was your equipment.
I know.
Yes,
I'm a keyboard player. I have a piano.
Yeah, no, I usually just use whatever piano that in every club that I play at. I use the piano or whatever equipment is there.
Isn't this an expensive operation for you, running all over the country? I mean, how do you support
that's
yourself?
a good question.
Musicians can barely get by as it is.
I'm doing some campaign fundraising. The O'Leary for President Election Committee, OPEC, is in business, and we're taking. I don't know if I can announce that on TV. I'll get you thrown off the air probably. But anyway,
no, as long as you get less than 2% of the votes, we're not worried about it.
That's right, because I'm not official candidate with the FCC yet because I haven't announced formally as a write-in candidate or something like that. So I'm technically the uncandidate. That way I can get on all the talk shows I want. And people can still contribute money. They can just send in care of whatever, store or cable.
Okay, well, I'll take the money.
You'll take
and I'll give it to you. Don't worry about it.
Fair enough.
Okay, John, I want to thank you for being on the show. I have a man I'd like to bring up now. His name is Lyle Roebuck, and he wanted to talk to you. Something about truth in politics.
Truth in politics.
Lyle, welcome to the
anything.
show. Have you got...
Thank you, Ms. Planette. Yes, my name is Lyle Roebuck. I'm a licensed private instigator in the states of New Jersey and South Korea. And I represent a group of private citizens who have been doing some research into the background of this individual. The name of our group is Everyone Involved in Extensively Investigating O'Leary, or EIEIO, and we've got a considerable amount of factual material on the candidate. I'd like to bring some of these facts out today. To begin with, I'd like to say that our sources are highly placed law enforcement officials, people of unimpeachable moral rectitude, like Anthony Ulasewicz, E. Howard Hunt, people of that sort. In fact, our Los Angeles source is an attorney, Robert Steinberg. He has videotapes of a sex orgy party where this candidate is clearly heard to say, "Not tonight, I have a headache." Is this the kind of man we want in the White House? And that's just the tip of the iceberg here, folks. His name isn't really John O'Leary. The fact is, this man has worked under many aliases in the past. His real name is Raoul Wepner. And as Raoul Wepner, he was a close personal associate of Bulgarian papal assassins, Libyan hitmen, child pornographers, and he was seen drinking Gatorade with Rosie Ruiz. That's just the beginning, folks.
Who's my lawyer?
With his common-law wife, Pee-wee, and his 6 kids, they ran a gun-running and videotape bootlegging operation in the South Seas for several years. Under the alias of Little Joe Frascatore, he was up to his elbows in the criminal activity around Port Behemoth in South Florida. And how about that scam where you substituted drain cleaner for cocaine? A lot of people walking around with extra nostrils because of that one. Well, that's just part of it. Let's talk about ties to organized crime. As we all know, Mr. O'Leary operates out of an office on the notorious Strip in Mamaguin. Oh, well, that's just the beginning. He's a principal investor in a plan to develop a combination nursing home and casino down there called Alzheimer's on the Strip. And let's talk some more about ties to organized crime. Here's one he sent to Carmen Volante. Here's one that he sent to Joey the Scuzz Marino saying, "Good luck in Mamaguin." That's the kind of man that you're dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about these facts before you go out to place your vote. This is a man who is known throughout the South Seas as a gun runner. He's known throughout the world as an international crime figure. And he goes out with my daughter, and I'm going to get him.
Can't somebody do something about this man?
Get rid of this madman.
Oh, my God. I think it's time for our contest with Brad Crandall.
Hello, Moon Muffins and Cosmic Desperados. Brad Crandall rapping it back at you from Mega Miles out in the psychic void. You all know the rules by now, and so do I. We'll show you 5 pictures of future stars, bands of renown from just out of town. You name all 5 and win the humongous prize Janet told you about earlier. Just jot down your answers on a piece of paper or a moon rock and send it to us. Now for the photo units. Band number 1, 5 happy blobs of protoplasm from a nearby village. Good time music for plants and animals alike. Their lead singer is 18 feet tall and has wooden legs. That's band number 1. Band number 2 is seen here relaxing with a game of Crazy Eights before a concert in Greenland. Second from the right is Meatloaf's brother, Pimento Loaf. That's band number 2. Band number 3 looks good to me. Nice clothes, nice hair, and they sound great too. They take their name from their most outstanding feature. That's band number 3. Band number 4. Hey, we threw this one in to fool all you illiterates out there. They churn out the boogie and wind it around those big spools. Then they roll the spools over the audience. Result a smash hit. Band number 4. Band number 5 is a rising young duo from Connecticut and Tegucigalpa. He looks mellow in his hat, and she's high on life in her new Dale Bozio blouse. Okay, that's some powerful talent. Just write the names down 1 through 5 and send your answers to Janet Planet, care of Storer Cable, P.O. Box 3100, New Haven, Connecticut 06515. And the prize? It's so good. Tell them what they'll win. Janet.
Thank you, Brad. Today's prize is 2 free tickets to the concert of your choice from Toad's Place. And now, let's hear more from John O'Leary.
And the ups and downs. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, easy to come, easy to go. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, that's how it got to go. Now everybody got to live sometime, got to eat their fill. But you know the next day comes and you got to pay the bill. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, easy to come, easy to go. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, that's how it got to go. Now I've been up so high, I've been down so low, but all you get from success, mama, is a case of vertigo. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, easy to come, easy to go. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, that's how it got to go. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, easy to come, easy to go. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, that's how it got to go. Now my life I'd luck so bad, it drove me near insane. And finally when my ship come in, I was waiting for the train. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, easy to come, easy to go. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, that's how it got to go. Oh no, chicken today, feathers tomorrow. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow. Chicken today, feathers tomorrow, that's how it got to go.
You want to have a show?